This movie is probably the most ridiculous and over-the-top movie I've seen all year, and I really enjoyed it. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. And this movie sees the return of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Luke Hobbs, Jason Statham as Deckard Shaw, and this movie was basically born out of the popularity of the famous prison scene in Fast and the Furious 8, Fate of the Furious. And I guess we can now smell what The Rock is cooking, because basically Universal and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looked at Vin Diesel. They were like, oh wait, Fast and Furious, this is your franchise? It doesn't matter if this is your franchise, because I'm taking it over. Sorry, Tyrese. So Hobbs and Shaw tells the story of a super virus called Snowflake that a terrorist, who's played by Idris Elba, is trying to release and basically destroy the entire world. But before he can accomplish his mission, the virus is stolen by Deckard Shaw's sister, who's played by Vanessa Kirby. And so now it's up to Hobbs and Shaw to team up with his sister and basically stop this terrorist and save the world. But it turns out Idris Elba isn't just any terrorist, he's a super terrorist. He's a genetically engineered soldier, basically a super soldier. And as he says in the trailer, he's Black Superman, which is actually why I'm wearing this shirt, because usually when I do YouTube reviews, I try to wear a shirt based on the property that I'm reviewing, but I don't always have the corresponding t-shirt. Like for this movie, I don't have a Fast and Furious t-shirt, but since he does call himself Black Superman, I'm wearing the colors of DC Comics' Black Superman, Val Zod. But yeah, basically, if you've seen the trailer for this movie, you've basically seen the whole movie. Like, you can piece together each act of this movie based on the trailer. And I usually rail against trailers that show too much. I hate when you can basically determine the entire movie from the trailer. But for a movie like this, it doesn't really matter what the plot is. Like, if you're trying to watch any Fast and Furious type movie based on the plot, then you're watching the wrong franchise. Like, the plot doesn't matter so much that they even make a joke about it in this movie. All you really care about is getting to see The Rock and Jason Statham kick ass. And that's exactly what they do. These two have excellent chemistry together, and this movie does a great job in showcasing their action strengths. Like, Jason Statham is more of a martial artist, and The Rock is more of a physical powerhouse brawler. And so you get to see that distinction in a lot of the action scenes. And also, specifically within these Fast and Furious movies, and really in a lot of movies that The Rock is in, he's basically a superhero anyway, to the point that I think it was the last Fast and Furious movie where they basically had him pick up and misdirect a full warhead missile and a bunch of other crazy feats. So of course, when it comes to this movie, at a certain point, yeah, he would go against a supervillain. It makes complete sense. And I enjoyed Idris Elba's villain. I enjoy movies where Idris Elba gets to use his real accent. And he seemed like a pretty menacing villain. Like, no, was he the most compelling villain that we've seen in any movie? No, but he was enjoyable enough and I had fun with his character. Like, these Fast and Furious movies have become superhero franchises at this point. Like, if Nick Fury showed up at the end of this movie to try to recruit Hobbs and Shaw into the Avengers Initiative, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I think the thing that helped keep this movie fresh and from being too predictable, now granted, it was predictable, but the thing that I really enjoyed in this movie is they had a lot of surprises in this movie that I wasn't expecting. And on top of that, this movie was funnier than I thought it would be. Like, I think this is the jokiest of all the Fast and Furious movies. And I am also glad, granted you see it in the trailer, but I am glad that they did inject some culture into these Fast and Furious movies where you got to see The Rock's character, Luke Hobbs, go back to his home country of Samoa, or as they pronounce it in the movie, Samoa. And I swear, is it wrong for me during those scenes, especially when the score was playing and they were playing some traditionally Samoan music, like Moana instantly popped into my head, and I was expecting the movie at some point to bust out into away, away, da, 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 da. I hope that a little bit doesn't get this video copyrighted, but anyway, now I kind of want to watch Moana again. But yeah, like I said, basically what this movie is what you see is what you get. So if you watched the trailer for this movie and had a good time based on the trailer and were interested in seeing this movie based on the trailer, then I'd say you'll have a pretty good time watching this movie. But if the trailer didn't sell you at all, then I say don't bother. You're not going to watch this movie. But for me, I had a pretty damn good time and I enjoyed this movie. And I would say Hobbs and Shaw is definitely a hit. I'd love to see a sequel for this movie. Hell, if Hobbs and Shaw ends up replacing the main Fast and Furious franchise, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be okay with that. Again, sorry, Tyrese. Also, make sure to stick around because again, this franchise has become such a superhero franchise that they even have a mid-credit scene. So anyway, have you seen Hobbs and Shaw? What did you think about it? Would you be okay with this spin-off replacing the main franchise? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, please hit that thumbs up button and like this video. It'll really help out the channel. Also, if this is one of your first time watching one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.